Good evening. Welcome to Cause L'École. We're always happy to have you, and it's a pleasure this Saturday for us to be live to share information with you, invaluable information that we believe that you need and that will help you to be well informed. And when you're very well informed, you can make better decisions. So therefore, we are happy to be live again today. As always, we let you know what we discussed last week. Last week we spoke about students that are considered to be homeless. They are in transition, okay? And these students, the expectations at school is the same as students that have stable housing. So these students that are in unstable housing, they have the same expectations as students that are in stable housing. So we are asking, is that something that's fair? Should the district consider, or we consider these policies toward these students, so that way the staff, the teachers can be more lenient with the students. Because if a student is sleeping in cars, in parks, under bridges, and they have to go to a McDonald's in the morning before going to school to wash themselves, should we expect them to complete their homework? Should we expect them to should the expectations be the same as other students? So that's what we should think about, because I think they should not. I think there should be some consideration for these students that are in unstable housing. So that's what we discussed last Saturday. And we also mentioned Project Upstart, which is a program that the district has to help students in unstable housing. So the number to Project Upstart is 305-995-7558. 305-995-7558. And you call them, you let them know what your housing situation is, and they will help you either with rent, or they'll help you find shelter somewhere. They will definitely help you out. So give them a call, so that way you can find help. So the district does have help for students in unstable housing. Today our subject is about community service. You may be wondering, why talk about community service? In school, community service is required for graduation. It's a graduation requirement. At different schools, we are in the same district, but at different schools, the requirement is different. Some schools require 1 hour, some schools require 25, some other ones 50. So the requirement varies at different schools. So depending on the school that you are attending, the requirement for community service will be different. Now, if you're trying to get Bright Future Scholarship, you need 75 hours for the Florida Medallion Scholarship, 75. And if you are trying to get the Florida Atlantic Academic Scholarship, you need 100 community service hours. So you need to figure out, are you qualified for Bright Future? Are you trying to become qualified for Bright Future? If you're in 9th grade, 10th grade, this is the time for you to start accumulating those community service hours. So by the time you're a senior, by the time you're in 12th grade, you'll have enough hours, even though your school may require less. But if you're trying to get the Bright Future Scholarship, then you should try to get at least 75 community service hours. And these hours will help you. They will help you because when you submit your resume to a college for admission, they take that in consideration. They see that you did 500 hours, 300 hours. So they see that you are somebody who cares about your community. You're not all about money, because community service is not about money. It's volunteering. You are volunteering your time to help your community become better. So the schools appreciate that. So that's a plus when you send your transcript and you send your resume and you ask someone to do a letter of recommendation for you. This is a plus for those colleges to see that you did complete 150 community service hours, 250. We have students with over 1,000 community service hours, because helping is good. It's a great thing to help others, and you don't always have to seek money. All right, you don't have to seek financial resources, financial outcome when you do something for someone. Let me tell you a story. I went to Haiti one time, and at the airport, the guy came and said, "Can you help me with my luggage?" I said, "It's okay. I only have one suitcase. It wasn't even heavy. I was there for 3 days." And bye, sweetheart. And I said, "No, it's okay. You don't have to help me. I got it. I'm okay." He said, "Well, can I stand next to you?" I said, "Oh, yeah, of course you can stand next to me." I don't have a problem with that. The guy wanted me to pay him for standing next to me after he offered to stand next to me. And when I was about to leave, he said, "You're not going to tell me anything? You're not going to say anything? Or you're not going to do anything?" I said, "What do you want me to do?" So he basically wanted me to pay him for standing next to me at the airport until my ride came to pick me up. So of course, when I got in the car, I didn't want to give him anything, but I was forced to. So I gave him something. But again, community service, that's what community service is. You don't need to be paid to do something. You can there are many organizations, for example, Feed the Hungry. There are a lot of homeless shelters. You can go and help, volunteer your time, especially as a student, so that way you can earn some community service hours. Now, there's a difference. Before I get to the difference, students usually wonder, where do I do my community service hours? How do I accumulate those hours? The hours you did in middle school, they don't count. Those hours, they start counting in high school. So whatever community service hours you did in middle school, you do not count them toward high school graduation. Okay? So any hours you did in middle school, you can throw them away and start accumulating hours in 9th grade. Now, you can do community service hours at your school. You can do them with a coach. You can do them with a teacher. You can do them with a club. There are many clubs at your school that you can do community service with. You can do them with a sport team, whether it's the basketball team, football team, soccer team. You can go and volunteer your time to earn some community service hours. If you want to go in the community itself, you can go to a park, you can go to a hospital, you can go to one of those homeless shelters I mentioned earlier to complete those community service hours. Now, if your goal is to become a doctor when you a medical doctor when you graduate college, or you want to become a lawyer or an engineer, a specific a teacher, for example. So the best way for you to do community service hours is to go to a law firm if you want to be a lawyer, go to a hospital if you want to become a doctor. So that way you can actually see what kind of work these people do. Okay, you can be there when they're performing at that level, so you can see, is that really something I want to do when I go to college, right? So if you go to a school to volunteer and you want to become a teacher, you might wonder, do I really want to deal with kindergartners, or do I want elementary school or high school? So your volunteering, your community service can be very specific to what you plan on studying when you go to college, or it could be you just want to do hours. So in that case, you can do these hours anywhere. So the difference I was going to mention earlier is that there's a difference between community service and serving your community, right? You may be serving your community, but that doesn't mean you're doing a community service, right? So when you're serving your community, that means you're providing a service, and that service, you're getting paid for providing that service. So you are serving your community, but you have some financial gain by providing that service. Then you're serving your community. Community service is volunteering, and it's for free. You do not get paid for that. So for example, what I'm doing right now is community service. There's no money to this, right? So I'm sharing information with you. I'm trying for you to become more informed, so that way you can make better decisions. That's community service. But my mental health center, where when you come, if you don't have insurance, I charge your insurance, or if you don't have insurance, you pay cash or credit card or whatever. That's serving the community, because I have financial gain in that. So whatever you do and you have financial gains by doing it, you're serving your community. If you're volunteering and you're doing it for free, that's community service. And this is something that we need to instill in Haiti, I believe, because I don't think there's enough community service. Because when you do community service, it's because you care about your community. You care about the people. You care about where you live. You care about seeing the area clean and nice and safe. And if we had community service in Haiti, every community could take care of their own community, and that way the country will be a much better place, a much nicer place, a much safer place. The environment will be healthier, because people will volunteer their time to clean the streets, to protect people in the streets, because you don't need a job to do that. You don't need to be paid for your community to be better. Okay, so that's what community service is. I'm gonna say a couple of things in Creole, parce que nous connaissons un pile monde qui t'a en créole, nous t'avons entendu ça n'a dit là, parce que leur service communauté ou ça montre que ou apprécier communauté, ça montre que la communauté c'est une communauté qui est en sécurité, côté tout le monde en santé. Il n'y a pas besoin de payer pour aider la communauté à évoluer. Ouais, ou capable de servir la communauté. Leur servir communautaire, il deux façons capables de servir communautaire. Une façon côté que ou ba un service, yo payer pour service qu'on bail là. Pas vrai? Là ça c'est pas volontiers à faire. Ouais, parce qu'on recevoir cob, mais là que ou ba un service ou font service pour communauté ou pas attendre pour payer, ça montre que ou aimer communauté, c'est servir communauté, et puis ça vient faire ou vient plus bon citizen, ouais, ou vient plus bon monde qui ça vient faire venir monde qui plus complet, parce que on fait un bagage côté on fait avec tout cœur, ou pas faire pour l'argent. C'est pas tout bagage nous besoin faire pour cob. Ouais, comme on était dit tout à l'heure, on monde camper bon côté moi va Haïti on leur et puis livrer pour me payer parce que était juste camper bon côté. Ouais, qui pas fait aucun sens. Ou pas obligé de payer parce que tu es capé bon côté, alors que c'est vous-même qui t'es offert pour capé bon côté. Ouais, l'heure pour nous pas penser tout le temps de l'argent, mais penser de communauté, non, de côté nous vivre là, de pays. Hein. Et là nous fait ça, on pays qui pi bon, on pays qui pi en sécurité, on pays qui pi évoluer, on pays côté que touristes sont capable venir, y a connaît que y a un côté qui nettoie tout le temps. Pas besoin de payer pour nettoyer la rue. Nous allons mettre un groupe et puis nous dire que chaque week-end nous allons nettoyer la rue. Nous ne pas mettre la rue en salle comme ça. C'est pas, il pas obligé de payer nous pour nous faire ça. Ouais, c'est ça qui est observer communautaire, ou faire volontariat. Nous pas quoi dans volontariat. Moi-même, depuis que je suis ici, je fais volontariat. Je ne sais pas combien de monde et je fais conseil pour eux, m'entraîner au football, dans le soleil chaud. Yo pas payer pour ça. Je fais là avec tout cœur. Parce que les sorties dans cœur, son mon bagage me fait pour m'aider ti moun et me fait commencer aider ti moun. Ouais. Alors, volunteering, I've been doing that since a long time. I love helping kids. I love helping people. They don't need to pay you to volunteer. When you volunteer, you're not asking for money. I've coached kids, I've counseled them, kids, parents, for free, volunteering. And I've had a lot of great people with me doing that. There's Bertha Semelford, there's Gomez Lalo, Pastor Gomez. We've done those things. We are still doing those things for kids. And because we love our community, we want to get rid of juvenile delinquency. Lò aide ti moun yo, lò fè volontariat ou bay tan pou aide ti moun, ou aide retire ti moun sa yo na pou yo pa vin delinquant. Ouais, bay ti moun nan gon programme la le ou pa mande par un paquet ban kob. Parent li a pa gen kob, pa mande un paquet kob pou mene ti moun nan programme. Ti moun nan gen va vini free, li ba oblige payer. Ou même tout, ou fè volontariat, ou aide ou pas obligé de cob. C'est pas tout bagay n'a fait que obligé payer nous pour lui. Yo pas obligé payer nous pour tout ça n'a fait. So, nous prenons ça en considération et là nous fait ça n'a pas un pays qui plus bon. When we take that in consideration, I would like for you to take it in consideration, and if you do, we'll have a better country, we'll have a better community. Our neighborhood will be better. The people in our neighborhood will feel safer. They'll be healthier, and we'll have a better country. So, again, thanks for watching Cause L'école. I don't want to keep talking. We don't want to be too long. We appreciate the time that you take to watch our videos. And community service, again, is a very useful tool as a student, and your parents can also do the same thing as adults. Thanks for watching. As always, we always leave you with a thought for the week. And our thought is related to what we're talking about. What matters is how much you give, not how much you have. What matters is how much you give, not how much you have. Think about this today, throughout the weekend, and throughout the week. And I will see you again for another podcast of Cause L'école next Saturday. Enjoy the weekend. Bye.